Disney and Lucasfilm are currently focused on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, a handful of live-action TV series, as well as the brand new Star Wars trilogy that is all set and ready to release throughout the 2020s after, of course, Star Wars Episode 9's release. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about the big news just tonight, all thanks to The Hollywood Reporter, but a brand new Star Wars film is currently in the works that is actually being developed by Kevin Feige under Marvel. Now, you guys may know Kevin Feige. He is a big-time producer of Marvel Entertainment and how they make all the MCU films, and now Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm, they have Kevin Feige on board of developing a brand new Star Wars film. So, from The Hollywood Reporter, this is where things begin to get very exciting because it actually states that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy is pursuing a new era in Star Wars storytelling, and knowing what a die-hard fan Kevin is, it made sense for these two extraordinary producers to work on a Star Wars film together. Walt Disney Studios co-chairman Alan Horn tells The Hollywood Reporter. So keep in mind that this is indeed official and lines directly up with the rumors that we heard about a couple of months ago, that Disney and Lucasfilm were considering making new Star Wars films in the forms of solo movies that would take place in between the two new Star Wars trilogies, by of course Rian Johnson and the creators of Game of Thrones. So not only do we have a handful of live-action TV series, we also have, of course, 6 new Star Wars movies that are actually going to be 2 different trilogies by the Game of Thrones guys and, of course, Rian Johnson. So a lot of fans are trying to wonder exactly what's really going on here. Is, of course, Kevin Feige going to be one of the directors of the new trilogy by, of course, the creators of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, or Rian Johnson's new trilogy? That's a big question open on the table for discussion. However, you guys may recall that a lot of rumors were going around a couple of months ago that Disney and Lucasfilm were considering of making new solo films, new spin-off movies, if you will, and going back to their roots of the Star Wars story movies. Now, with that being said, a lot of fans do know that Kevin Feige is a huge Star Wars fan. You know, as much of a Marvel fan he really is, he's a huge Star Wars fan, and honestly, I think that this is a great direction that Disney is going through. You know, the fact that they have somebody that has been associated with successful films such as all the movies like Avengers, Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, you name it. Everything else in line with Marvel has been doing excellent, and the fact that Kevin Feige is now on board to do a Star Wars movie, I think is really good. I think that this is honestly the best direction possible right now, as long as they do something true to the Skywalker saga. That actually is going to be something very interesting. Now, of course, we're moving beyond the Skywalker saga as far as that lineage goes, but hopefully this movie is going to stay in tune with what Star Wars really is and how it feels within the Skywalker saga is what I'm trying to get at here. You know, kind of just bring us back to those, you know, different types of Star Wars films where it could very well be based somewhere within that timeline, but something fresh and new is something that I hope the new direction for this new movie is going to be. So we can see that Disney and Lucasfilm, they're trying to do something very much special in order to recapture the fans after, of course, they canceled over 10 years worth of Star Wars films. It really seems like that Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to backpedal. They're really trying to do a big reverse, a big 180, if you will, of making new Star Wars films that are going to pretty much, you know, be placed throughout the entire 2020s. You know, the fact that they are trying to do something like what they originally planned to do, where throughout the 2020s, there would be, you know, a handful of Star Wars movies coming out, as opposed to just 2 new Star Wars trilogies. They would have solo films and dedicated Star Wars movies with their own stories involved. So, what do I think about all of this? Well, if it does indeed line directly up with the rumors that we heard a couple of months ago about brand new Star Wars films that are actually not associated with the new Star Wars trilogies, that would make a lot of sense as to why Kevin Feige is now on board with this. However, I wouldn't be too surprised because we do know that, of course, in the fall of 2019, in which here we are right now, just a couple of days into the fall of 2019, is when, of course, they would come to the final conclusion to get a director on board for one of the new movies for the new Star Wars trilogy by, of course, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. So it could be either or. This could be for a dedicated spin-off film, or this could be Kevin Feige directing one of the new Star Wars trilogy movies that, of course, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are going to write. So with that being said, guys, I would love to hear your opinion about the Marvel creator, the producer, of course, Kevin Feige being on board for the Star Wars universe, as I like to call it, and where things are really going to go moving on forward throughout the 2020s. It's going to be a very special decade for the Star Wars universe, without a doubt. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.